What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show.
That's right. That's right, baby.
This week we got lots of elbow room here at What the Fanboy HQ. Is that what we're calling it now? What the Fanboy HQ? Okay.
Now I get to sit in the middle.
Luke wants the middle.
No,
Okay.
I like the left side.
Well, over to my left is Luke. He's a good boy. How you doing today, man?
Hi, Luke.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little sleepy,
Yeah?
but yeah.
Oh. Well, who's to your left?
No, but Jimba.
No, look at the screen. Who's to your left?
Jimba is to my left.
Okay, Gemma's to your left, but even left of Gemma is Tyler, who is remoting in this week. Good to see you, man.
Hey, thanks. Luke reminded me of a child just now. Like, as you try to get them, you're like trying to prompt them into saying something and they just never do. Luke nailed that.
Luke-
that was pretty well done.
Luke constantly
Yeah,
remind me of a child.
You're welcome.
He keeps us all young.
That he
right?
does. That he does.
I'm from home because everybody in my house is sick. So
Well, tell everyone to get
thanks for being
feel
flexible,
better,
guys.
because
Yeah.
being sick ain't no fun.
I actually had to stay home from work today to help take care of them.
Whoa.
It was weird. Like, I felt fine. I still feel fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just Bryn was running like a 102 fever.
Oh gosh.
Oh, wow.
Dana's, trying to croak due to COVID and just getting kind of rowdy
Yep.
in the Davis household, it seems. But I'm here. I made it. I survived the day.
I am so glad, and again, we send our well wishes and feel better feelings to your household.
Thanks, man.
Luke, why don't you start us off with what you did this week?
Well, for the majority of the week, I was in Colorado,
What?
visiting some friends. It was a lot of fun. I was out there just for like 4 days, 5 days, 4.5
Okay.
days. Did some hiking and did some more hiking.
Sounds like fun.
Nice.
My
And
legs are a
sounds
little
like
tired.
right up Tyler's.
We didn't do no
Heck yeah.
14er like Tyler does.
Well,
Hey, that's okay. Hiking's fun no matter where you go.
this is
Yeah,
true.
it was a lot of fun. Like one of the hikes, we went up to a lake. Oddly enough, it was Bierstadt Lake, which I know is one of the 14ers you did.
It is.
But not related to the mountain. But there was a lake up there, and I got in my hammock, which is one of my favorite things to do. It was a great time, and we got to
Nice.
see old friends that we don't get to see very much anymore, and that was a lot of fun.
Dude, it's amazing how as you get older, just seeing those people who you were so close with in the past, but like you see them just once every, even if it's like once every couple years, it's like just how good that feels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was super nice. I did still watch some stuff though this week. Actually, something I want to mention that I was not expecting to do. I really needed to watch a space movie. And I was like, man, I watch the same ones every time.
Yeah.
Like I have my 3, and it's not like I didn't need a sci-fi. I needed this is a true story space movie. So it's either like Apollo 13, First Man, or Apollo 11, the documentary. So it's like, okay, what else is out there? And I got on Prime Video because I was just like, I'll just watch First Man. And the first thing on there that I saw on the front page was October Sky.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, oh, heck yeah. And I watched it. Man, that movie's amazing. I miss that movie.
It's a good movie.
If you haven't seen October Sky, I highly recommend it. It's a feel-good one. It's a true story. Jake Gyllenhaal is a teenager, which is a lot of fun. He's a great actor, even back then, except for Velvet Buzzsaw. But yeah, that
Gotta
movie...
throw that jab.
Gotta throw that in there.
Of course. But that movie's amazing. People should watch that. I also started another show, which I didn't even realize was coming out this week, which was Reservation Dogs Season 2.
Oh yeah.
That show's back. I love that show. It's on Hulu. Check it out. the show I finished is Blackbird. It's 6 episodes. All the episodes are out. It's just a limited series, starring Taron Egerton. I think I've talked about it a little bit, and Paul Walter Hauser. It's really good. Taron Egerton and Paul Walter Hauser are phenomenal in
So
it.
they are both really good actors. So
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Stingray.
Yeah. It's so weird to see him as Stingray and then see him as this.
Or anything else he's done, really.
Yeah, he's so
Yeah.
creepy in this. And like the things that they just talk about are just like really upsetting, and you can see it really to start to get to Taron Egerton's character, who is a criminal in his own. He's in jail. His character actually went to jail. But it's just a phenomenal story, and to watch Taron Egerton's character bounce off of Paul Walter Hauser's. I can't remember the names, unfortunately. It was really something, and it's based on a true story, which makes it even more wild. I think people should watch it. It's Apple TV. Trying to think if they've missed yet. I mean, I haven't watched C. Just kind of ignored that one.
I mean, it's gotten 3 seasons.
I was gonna say
now,
the first
so-
season wasn't bad, and they keep renewing it. So I think the third season's the last one.
I don't think.
Yeah,
So-
I just can't
finalized
get
it.
past the premise and like the trailer where they're like, we can't see. Our child can. How do you know? How do you know your kid can see? Oh, I'll never get past that. Did I ever talk about how I finished Paper Girls, or did I only talk about how I started it?
I think you just talked about how you started it.
Okay.
So you finished Paper Girls.
I finished
too?
Paper Girls. That show is awesome. It doesn't follow the comic book beat for beat, but that's fine. It's still a great ride. It's a lot of fun. The last episode I thought was super awesome. So I'm super ready for season 2. People should check that show out. It's on Prime Video. And then I watched Prey. Talk about later.
Nice.
Yeet.
Dope. Tyler, what'd you do this week?
Very quickly, I'm about halfway through Paper Girls. I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. Dana and I are watching it. She seems to really be enjoying it, which isn't. I'm not surprised by that, but I think she's a good kind of marker for general audience. So
Yeah.
if she's enjoying it, I think most people can find enjoyment in it. Yeah, I'm about halfway through. I'm really liking it. Can't wait to finish that. And then I also watched Prey, which we're going to get to. And then I watched the newest entry in the DC animated Tomorrowverse. That's what it's called. Luke, I don't know if you knew that.
Because the
I did
Superman
not.
movie's called Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah, so that whole like now when they release animated movies, they have them as they're either categorized as standalone or Tomorrowverse movies. So
Okay.
worth noting. I learned that today. I was like, oh, cool, that's kind of nice. So yeah, I've watched all of the Tomorrowverse movies so far. I watched Green Lantern: Beware My Power today while I was taking care of the fam, and I would give it a Matthew McConaughey. I think a lot of the same problems the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie had, this has, in that they chose. I think they chose the wrong villain for an origin story for Jon Stewart. I think they had too many characters, and I mean that's pretty common in the animated movies. Like there's always going to be other characters who kind of pop in and out, which I'm usually fine with. But in this, they're like there the whole time. Like there's moments where you want Jon Stewart to be a hero, and it's kind of stolen from him by like Hawkgirl or Green Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of weird. And then the villain choice is just bad, I'd say.
Is the villain a reveal? Or can you say who it is?
I mean, he's on the cover of one of the villains is on the cover of the box. One of the villains is Sinestro.
Okay.
And then there is another reveal, yes.
Okay.
and it's really that's where you kind of go, oh no. But the final fight is good. Like the conclusion to the movie is good, and like when John finally kind of starts to like be a Green Lantern, um, it's really fun, and I look forward to what they'll do with him in the future, because I think he'll be a mainstay moving forward for them, which is kind of nice. Um, and that's pretty much it. I went to a music festival. That was cool. Um,
Dance, dance,
yeah,
dance, 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 dance,
good
dance,
time.
dance, dance, dance. Cool.
Kansas City did really well at Breakaway Music Festival, so it'll be back next year. Can't wait to go again.
Nice. Well, thanks for your little update there, Tyler. Glad you got to at least get out and do something fun before you got stuck inside for a week.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
that's a thing.
I'm excited for Brett to go because I forgot to mention something that we both did.
Oh, I'm curious what that is. So first thing I did was something I started last week but didn't mention. I didn't mention it because I was only one episode in. But I finished Light and Magic. It's the documentary on Disney Plus about Lucasfilm. Is that what you did?
No.
No. Okay. I'm very curious.
He did a comic book related thing.
I can't focus on you. Okay. In terms of documentaries and just seeing the kind of the history of how special effects in Hollywood really took off, there's nothing like this. It's 6 episodes, I think. They're all an hour long, and they kind of go through the different movies, starting at Star Wars. Star Wars, George Lucas needed some very specific things. He couldn't find anyone to do these things that he wanted to do, so he just created his own company. But they go through a lot of the people. They have interviews with a lot of the people who were there, whether or not they had good relations by the time they exited the company, or if they're still with the company. I think they did a really good job of talking to kind of everyone who was involved and getting all sides of that story, because I think it's a really unique story in the world of Hollywood. And then it kind of goes all the way up until Jurassic Park. So 70s to 90s. And it's just pretty phenomenal what all they did and how they,
Before computers.
or like right on the verge of computers, what they were doing, how they, Jurassic or Star Wars, the first one was pretty much pre-computer. How they did things with matte paintings and layers and.
Is that the official title? Star Wars, the first one.
The first one, yeah. To
Like Pokemon, the first movie.
Yeah.
That's like an actual title.
But then, like, when they were to the point where in Jurassic Park, they were convinced they were gonna do stop motion, and they had been working on it for months and months and months, and kind of in secret, the team at ILM was creating this proof of concept that they knew a producer would be walking through the studio one day, so they had it on a loop so that they would just notice it as they walked by. And they did, and they called it out, and they're like, well, what is that? And they're like, oh, well, we're putting together a thing for Steven Spielberg to see. But, like, they weren't. But they kind of acted like they were, and, like, the producer's like, oh, well, I can't wait to see what it looks like, all fleshed out, because it was just the skeleton, and, how that proof really killed stop motion in its tracks. And the ramifications of that, even on that film. So, really fascinating watch. I highly recommend it. I'll give it a booyah in terms of words are hard. Documentaries. I think it's
What's
really,
in that Dr.
really
Pepper
good.
over there?
Not enough
T-Rex
of whatever it is. The next thing I did, I watched Bullet Train.
Yeet.
This is one of those movies that we all saw the first trailer and was like, I don't know what that is, but it looks fun.
They convinced me when Brad Pitt punches the mascot and it just goes, wee! It's like, I'll see it.
And let me tell you, I think the trailer, this is one of those trailers that does a really good job of capturing what the movie is. The movie is,
Nice.
It starts off not quite sprinting, but like it gets there very fast and it just doesn't slow down.
Oh man, I can't wait to see this.
Biggest pros, cast and chemistry. Oh my goodness, just how much fun all of these characters are having together, because there's like 3 or 4 that you see in the trailer, and there's like another 5 that they just don't tell you about. Some are like big name cameos and some aren't, but That's great.
Cool.
It's fantastic because some of them play small roles, some of them play big roles, some of them you're like, oh, I can't wait. Oh, they're gone.
Is one of them Charlize Theron?
I will neither confirm nor deny.
I would bet one of them is Ryan Reynolds as well.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Just a bet. I would bet good cash on that.
I think the action is also really well done. They really have a lot of fun with the idea of it being kind of constrained on this train. They do a thing where they hop. The train makes stops like a train does, and so but there's a reason that they're staying on the train. Mm-hmm. They're not getting off, and that's all done really, really well.
I wonder how many times they watched Snowpiercer to get maybe a claustrophobic feel.
Yeah, that's a freaking good movie. It makes me want to go watch it.
It is a good movie.
It's good.
I will also commend the cinematography on this. I think a lot of times shooting in such a small space, even though it's a train, can maybe get boring. But each of the cars is pretty unique that they kind of spend time in, of the train cars, and they have fun cinematography. They have fun playing with that. And giving kind of each car its own personality. The last thing I'll mention is I think that it has some good twists and turns. The story's not like anything to like really write home about, but it's not bad. It's a serviceable story. They have some fun twists in there. Luke's looking at the IMDb, so he's gonna get himself spoiled.
This isn't Bullet Train.
Okay. I was worried over there. But ultimately, I think it's a pretty easy fanboy worthy for me. I really do recommend it. There's been so many good movies. I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I can give it a booyah based on just how good all these other things have been, but I had a lot of fun with it. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's paced pretty well. So
awesome. I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get to it this week.
Yeah.
Let's go, Tyler. Let's go see it.
The last thing I did this week, and this is a thing I figured it out that Luke was referencing earlier, was that we both started The Sandman on Netflix.
Indeed.
And what are your thoughts on that, Luke?
I just want to say up front, I don't have any knowledge of the comic. I haven't read it. And that being said, the show is amazing. I've seen the first 3 episodes.
Same.
And I was just fully locked in when I watched it. I really can't wait to finish it. The guy who plays Dream, Morpheus, Tom Sturridge, I think he's amazing.
He does such a good job acting with expression.
Especially with like how he's like not. He has like no emotion a lot of the time too.
Yeah. He
just has this deep, stoic, dreamy voice, and it's just it hypnotizes you. You just listen. You're like, what you said, man.
You don't see. I think a lot of people might watch this and be like, oh, it doesn't feel like he has range, but that's just because, like you said, he's not acting with expression, like big bombast, like he's not crying, he's not but watch his eyes. He acts so well with his eyes.
There's a part where I can't even remember what happened, but like his face is just like shaking. and it's super subtle, and it's so good. Another shout out to whoever played Joanna Constantine. I thought she was awesome.
Yeah.
And I hope she's in the rest of the show.
Hope she comes back.
She was fantastic.
I've been impressed with as many big names as they have.
Yeah.
And as quickly as they're kind of going through them. And that's not to say, like, we're not trying to spoil things and saying people are dying, but, like, there is just a lot that happens. And so whether or not their fate is left obvious, they're just kind of moving through story and moving through time.
I didn't remember Charles Dance was in this.
Yeah.
I forgot David Doulis was in this. And it's just like, oh yeah, this is a big deal. The only con I have so far is Matthew. I don't think they should have chosen Patton Oswalt.
Oh, yeah.
His voice is too recognizable, and he's not doing any voice acting to change it. It's honestly really disappointing, because I feel like that's going to be an interesting character.
Same. I would say that's probably my one con as well. And man,
I'm hoping I just get used to it.
I keep bagging on Patton Oswalt and his voice actor roles, but you're right. He never does anything. Like, he's maybe a little more subtle or, like,
know what it made me think
downtrodden in this, but it's not much. It's not enough.
Know what it made me think of?
What?
It made me think of his role in Walter Mitty. How he's the guy on the phone. And that's funny.
Yeah.
It's this guy who's talking to this guy who's traversing the world and giving advice on his eHarmony profile. Like, it's a funny role. And then he pops up in this, and it's... I can't tell if it's supposed to be a comedic role or not, or if it's just his voice.
Well, yeah. I don't know either. I will say that I think it's kind of the first time they really lean into its MA rating is with him, in the use of swear words and stuff like that, which I was kind of pleasantly surprised that I didn't feel like it was leaning that hard into it.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that too.
Quickly. Now, they may ramp up and that may seem tame by the end of the show. I don't know.
Yeah, especially where they're going in episode 4,
yeah.
so we'll see what happens.
True. Very true. But
we might totally flip on that in one episode.
Yeah. I'm excited knowing who plays the lead down there.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how that goes.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna finish that show pretty quick.
Yeah. Gonna be.
I didn't realize Boyd Holbrook was in this too.
Yeah, me too. All of a sudden he was in the show, and I was like,
"Dang, man,
I just saw this actor, and it was from
he's
Vengeance."
Super underrated.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Also, go see Vengeance. You might not want to see it because it's not an indie film, but it's not a blockbuster. You should go see it. It's
Don't
fantastic.
let that be an excuse. That's a bad excuse.
It's a fantastic movie. It deserves
movie.
your attention. It's amazing. Please go see it.
I'm just making sure you're not saying that to me.
I'm saying it to the world and you, Tyler.
And you, Tyler, you are part of the world, so congratulations. We are talking to you.
Double feature: Bullet Train and Vengeance. Let's go.
Let's do it.
That sounds kind of fun.
But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's really, really good, and I can't wait to finish it. I'm sure we'll give our full review next week.
It's really gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's some weird CG stuff, but I feel like I kind of forgive it just because they're in a dream realm.
I was going to say, they play with that idea of it being a dream realm in certain ways that, aesthetically makes me feel like it. That's okay.
Yeah, but like the cinematography, been really digging it so far.
Yep. It's really good.
That's exciting.
Really, really freaking good. All right. On to trailers?
Sure. I only have one news story, which was kind of the big one of the week.
Oh.
So I'll let you guys go through this.
I have a few.
Yeah. Start us off, Tyler. What do you got?
I don't have trailers. I just have.
Well, I have trailers, so let's get into that. There was the trailer for I guess it's the spinoff of the X movie, called Pearl.
Yeah, I didn't watch this because I've not watched X yet.
Looks gory and fun, just like X. So I'll give it a thumbs up if you're into that kind of stuff. Pretty hard R. there was a trailer for the, I think it's World War II uh, Air Force movie called Devotion.
Dude, that trailer was a couple weeks ago, and I
We
totally
never
forgot to bring
mentioned
it
it,
up.
so I wanted to
Yeah,
bring.
that movie looks
I don't even know
awesome.
what this is. I'll have to watch it later.
Jonathan Majors is the lead.
Okay.
Oh
It
no, it's
looks
like
it looks really
Vietnam. I
good.
think. I think it's Vietnam.
Yeah, it looks really good. Um,
Yeah, I agree. That big thumbs up for me on that one.
yeah, I think this one looks awesome. A pair of U.S. Navy fighter pilot risks their lives during the Korean War.
Korea.
Yep. The next trailer that I saw, I'm not sure if this is an A24 or a. I want to say it's actually a Netflix. It's called Lost Ollie. It's kind of gives me some live action Toy Story vibes.
In a good way or a bad
About
way?
in a good, I mean, just in the plot way. It's like there's a boy who can talk to his, stuffed bunny.
So in a Ted way?
Yes, but but not rated R way. In a heartwarming and make you cry kind of way. Homeward Bound esque.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking.
Boy,
I'm on board.
Boy loses his toy, who is like alive, and then the toy has to make its way back to find its boy. Trailer. I thought the trailer was good. Thumbs up.
I'm going back to Devotion. It's Jonathan Majors and Glenn Powell and Glenn Powell's in his second flying movie now.
Oh no, is Glenn Powell just gonna be typecast as a pilot from now on?
No, man, he's going to be Barry Allen when they finally get rid of Ezra's bum self.
Fingers crossed, eventually. The last trailer I saw, and I'm gonna try not to butcher this. It's called The Banshees of Inisherin.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a Colin Farrell, and I cannot recall the other guy's name, but it's set in Ireland or Scotland, and it's the small town, and this guy just kind of suddenly decides to not be friends with Colin Farrell's character.
It's Barry Keoghan.
Oh. No, who's the old guy?
Oh, Brendan Gleeson?
Brendan Gleeson. Yep. Yeah. So Brendan Gleeson's character just kind of decides to write out this guy who's been his friend, just write him out of his life. For who knows what reason. And it seems like it's just kind of a...
because he's mad-eye moody.
Yeah. Dealing with those kind of people in your life. I thought it looked well shot and well made. It's probably a sideways thumb for me. These kind of dramas, I think usually I enjoy, but the biggest thing about this is I think it has a good cast, so hopefully it does well.
I didn't see any of these trailers, so I give them all thumbs up.
Gemma, I don't like you sitting behind their chairs. Can you go to bed, please?
The one I'm most excited for is Devotion.
The pod pup is being needy. Is there thunderstorms nearby tonight?
I doubt it. It never rains in Kansas anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the end of the trailers. We're moving along, boys. Luke, what's your one news story?
Well, mine was the big one, which is...
Oh, yeah. Then maybe let's hit the small ones first.
Okay.
Tyler?
Just a tease.
Tyler, what do you got for news?
Okay. I will hit some of the ancillary stories around superhero world, starting with some Marvel things. We got another look at Daredevil and She-Hulk. The more they keep showing him, the more I worry about the quality of that show. It feels like their selling point isn't She-Hulk anymore. It's that there's a bunch of cameos in it, which, anything Marvel's put out recently, that's kind of been the selling point. So that's unfortunate.
Even in their marketing, like there was even a trailer where they referenced all the cameos. They're like, this isn't a show.
It's meta, bro.
All about the cameos. Wink, wink.
Yeah, and then the other Marvel story I had was Rosario Dawson may have spoiled something for Marvel. Seems to be any actor who's new to the MCU has to spoil things, and so she may have spoiled the return of the Punisher. It's not confirmed yet, but I imagine she's being talked to about it if the Daredevil show is happening. She's kind of central in those stories. So, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
At least maybe she's coming back, which I don't know
Yeah,
gives me a little bit of hope instead of them just going just Carly Cox. Charlie Cox is coming back.
yeah. No, it's yeah. I mean, I just hope if they do the Punisher, that's not bad.
He's gonna be shooting them with the Nerf guns.
Oh boy.
Dude, he's gonna just carry like a laser gun so that it just cauterizes the wound immediately. And then I have a bunch of little DC stories around the big DC story. I don't know if you want me to save those.
Yeah, let's save those real quick. I'll go through a couple other little news stories. First off, sadly, today, I think it was today, Olivia Newton-John passed away. Rest in peace.
Indeed, yeah, that's sad. I saw John Travolta's post.
Oh, I didn't see his post.
It was sad, man.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Gosh, John Travolta making me cry. With certain, not that post, but it probably would make me cry.
Yeah.
There's other things that I suppose I could spoil because we, surely everyone's seen Top Gun by now, right? We also got a release date for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 coming in Christmas of 2024. That's probably going up against a Star Wars. Some big cojones on Sonic.
I still not seen Sonic 2.
It's not great.
You saw it?
Yeah. We watched it with Claire.
Oh, okay.
Claire liked it.
I don't know if I'll watch it. I thought the first one was just below mediocre.
And the second one's lower than that.
Oh, no.
It's worse?
I think so.
Maybe Sonic fans will like it more, but
there's more.
if you don't
there's
like
more
Sonic
characters. I guess if that's what you're.
Chaos!
If that's what you're here for, if you're here to see Tails and Knuckles, then you're probably going to be happy. But if you want a coherent story to build on the last story, no.
Well, the first story is not very good, so I'm fine with them throwing that in the trash can and kind of doing something different.
The first story was never going to be good when you have a character that's built to run fast and you put them in a car.
I'm glad you caught that alley-oop there, Luke. I was teeing that up for you.
They just don't know how to use James Marsden because he's the road trip with the fluffy animal.
Well, they didn't know how to use him in the second one either, because you know what they did with him? Sent him to Hawaii for the entire second and third act of the movie. He's not even in the movie. I mean, he is. He comes back at the end.
I mean, that's fine. I'd rather just see Sonic do Sonic
then
things.
Maybe you'll like this one better. So. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't go to see a Sonic movie so I can see
I'm surprised
James Marsden.
they didn't go to Olive Garden.
True. Put him at Olive Garden where his waiter won't give him his food or something. He's like, but I have this coupon.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
That movie, man.
Luke, break the big news to us.
Well, just lots seems to be going on at Warner Bros. There was a rumor / leak, and people were saying, oh, this isn't real, this is real. And then it was confirmed by, well, I know Hollywood Reporter was one of them, but there was multiple.
And Variety.
But it was that Warner Bros. Discovery decided to just cancel the Batgirl movie. It's in post-production. I think it's about halfway through.
It was in post-production.
That's right. It was in post-production. Now it's dead and gone. And the reasoning is they wanted a tax write-off on it because they didn't think it would make enough money in theaters and it was too big of a budget for HBO Max. So they killed it, they axed it. It's never going to be released. If they release it, it's fraud. So there's no release the Batgirl cut. And DC apparently has a 10-year plan. And I just don't even know what's going on anymore, honestly. I don't.
Yeah, Tyler, you had some more little stories around this, right?
Yeah, so for starters, I just want to react to the Batgirl cancellation because that
Yeah,
sucks. I was actually really looking forward to that
agreed.
movie. I thought a lot of the concept art for it looked really promising. It felt like the directors and cast really believed in their characters that they had created and the story they were telling. So it's really just unfortunate that that didn't move forward. Um, and it'll just kind of be one of those things that we'll forever wonder what
Yep.
if. I would not be surprised though if uh, Leslie Grace is brought back for a future project um, as Batgirl. I think that will happen. Um,
Mm, yeah.
I just don't know what she'll show up
It
in.
will
Yeah.
be a
Uh,
cameo
In
because
Teen
she
Titans
won't
Go.
get her
No.
own thing.
yeah, she won't get her own thing, but I do think she'll have some sort of role to play in something in the future.
Yeah.
I've seen people say put her in the Batman 2. Please, God, no, don't do that. Let's not muddy those waters. Just let that be its thing on the other side of the fence, and don't touch
Yeah.
it. um, so, but yeah, some of the other stories that kind of been circling around it. Luke mentioned that DC is moving forward with a 10-year plan, and I guess it's starting with the three movies that are slated to be released, which is Black Adam, Shazam, and The Flash. Apparently, still coming out. They feel good about it, so
I will
that
believe that when I see it.
I keep telling this
yeah.
to Brett, and I'm gonna keep saying it to Tyler. There's that movie is coming out. They are not shelving that movie.
I think it has to. I think the budget for it got so big because of COVID and everything and delays. They have to release
Hmm.
it.
So the budget can get
I
big, but not, or it can't get big, but it can get too big.
Yeah, I mean the whole reason Batgirl got shelved was because with the write-off, they came out on top. Um,
yeah.
they
They would
won't
not
lose
write off
money on
enough
it.
to
If
come
they
out.
shelve the Flash, they're gonna lose a bunch. So they
Yeah.
will use whatever goodwill the Flash name has and hope that Ezra Miller's name doesn't just drag it across the dirt.
I also, so you're right, and that's 100% why that's still happening, despite my many attempts to believe that it's not. I also, I know that they're kind of talking about that, Tyler, that like these next movies are kind of what's kicking it off. I think that's a total red herring to get people excited about these movies. I think after what's slated right now comes out, is there
That's when
it's
it'll
the
start.
reboot. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting a Shazam
I
3.
agree.
I don't think we're getting a Black Adam 2.
Do you
I don't
think
think we're getting an Aquaman 3. And obviously Flash is dead
I
after Flash.
do you think
I think Black Adam does get a sequel.
If Black Adam gets a sequel, it's only because The Rock personally and put half of that money down himself, which he could. No,
I got
for
a
sure.
question. How far do you think Wonder Woman 3 is into production?
Um, not far enough to make it be safe.
I think they could cancel that.
I think. They
And
could
honestly,
too.
like we even talked about it in our chat. I even said just cancel everything and just start over. And I was probably 95% serious.
Yeah.
It's just such an endless muck of nonsense as a fan. And I can't even imagine what it's like as a studio.
Oh gosh.
What you have going on where you have budgeting and marketing and
Leadership changes
pre-production, filming, post-production,
every 3 years.
casting. It's like, yeah. You
Because
have
they had the thing, they had Snyder, they had the whole creative group, then they were bought by AT&T, and that all changed everything up.
This
and
is
then
like the
Snyder went
fourth-
away, and everyone was like, "What the heck's going on?" And then they were like, "AT&T's, I'm gonna sell you," and then they sell them to Discovery, and now
This
it's
is the
getting
fourth
shooken up
10-year
again.
plan that DC has had.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Just I agree. What is in pre-production or post-production / already maybe been filmed? Release it. What you've announced. I would love to see the Batgirl way more than I would love to see the Flash.
Same. Even
Um,
like, and the question keeps arising, like, did they actually cancel it because it's just so bad, and they knew it wouldn't work, and it's It's like maybe, I don't know, but it just feels so disrespectful to so many people that are working on an art project.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine being at school, you're working on this big senior project, do the whole thing, and then they're just like, we're not showing yours
Yeah.
because it might be bad.
One of the kind of the big catalyst, it sounds like, for all of this restructuring around HBO Max and streaming
Oh
is
yeah, that whole thing.
is because of the fact that Warner Brothers has about $50 million of debt, and so one of the things that the Discovery CEO, now the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO, said was that, like, right out of the gate they were looking for like $3 to $5 million worth of savings, just like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And is 50 million right? Or
That seems like a lot.
I don't remember.
no, it was a lot. So
I'm gonna. Well, are you gonna look that up?
I'll
Because
look
if
it.
you are,
I'll look
I'm
it
gonna go
up.
back to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, go for it.
Because you guys the train started rolling, and I wanted to butt in, but you guys were on fire. Do we trust Umberto Gonzalez? He seems, as of lately, he's been pretty good, I think. But
I usually don't trust him.
okay, well, so Wonder Woman is apparently in a couple things already, that have already been filmed, and his quote to Fandango was, "She's a team player, but I think she's going to be around for a while," and I think that's safe to say. So obviously that could mean nothing, but I think Wonder Woman. I think with all the mystery around Batman and Superman, I feel like you got to have at least one of the main three to move forward.
But would it be a third movie or just a reboot of her? That's
That I
the
don't
question.
know.
It's just, it goes back to nobody knows anything. It's just,
Yeah.
it seems like all talk again. Like, oh, we
'Cause
have a
it's
10-year plan similar to Disney's. Kevin Feige and Alan Horn. We're gonna do what they did. Okay. Well, it's the third time you've tried, and the first two have been failures.
Yeah.
So, are you gonna?
Yeah, like the thing I
What's
want to
gonna
know
change?
is exactly what are they going to do differently that the previous two regimes didn't do? Because there's also rumors that Henry Cavill's coming back. So who knows?
I hold my breath for nothing.
Where do these rumors come from? Because that's been rumored for like 3 years now.
I don't know where they're stemming from, but they are definitely happening.
Okay.
I guess on a more positive note, I have
Yeah.
two more positive stories. James Gunn came out to say, "Hey, everybody, shut up, stop freaking out. Peacemaker season 2 is still happening."
Good.
So that's not a worry.
Yep.
And then just a little bit ago, I don't know if you guys saw this. Idris Elba is apparently working on something he quotes as big for DC. I'm wondering if that's one of James Gunn's other shows.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I
could
was
see
thinking.
that. I could see that.
So,
gosh,
I don't know, man.
I love a blood sport
Pretty exciting.
show.
I would too. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Okay, real quick, I did a little fact check on myself because I thought 50 million feels way too low, and I was right. It's $53 billion is what
mama.
Warner Brothers.
How much?
$53 billion in debt.
That's with a
debt. I say in debt. I mean of debt that they have that they need to pay off. So
what's Netflix's debt? They should have a debt fight.
Dude. Did you guys hold on? Did you guys see the Netflix story today too?
No, there was a Netflix story.
There's always a Netflix.
They have to pay residuals to writers.
For Bird Box.
For Bird Box.
Yeah.
$43 million, I think, is what it was.
$43 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Good. I'm gonna circle back to Warner Brothers here. If you guys go and look for a number of shows that were HBO Max originals, they no longer exist on the platform.
Fantastic.
Because
people don't like scripted television.
Because the running theory right now is that they have contracts signed with those creatives, either actors or directors, people who might get. This was early on, so they may still have like residual stuff. Most of the time these days, for streamers, people get paid one lump sum and that's it. You don't get residuals. But in the early days of the streaming, they were working through that, so some people still got residuals. And the thought is that they probably still have to pay those people. So rather than paying them, let's just take them off of the service. Whether or not they're watched, as long as they're on the service, they have to get paid.
Nice.
That's terrible.
And most of those shows didn't have any kind of physical copy or anything, so the only way you're going to be able to see them now is if you find a pirated version.
So, like, what were some of them?
There was that. There's a bunch of baking shows, which I know no one's going to probably freak out about that, but there was some of that stuff. There was the Rondall's Witches.
Good.
Luke's
Get rid of
happy
it.
about that
Get
one.
rid of it. That's okay.
There was the
American
Run.
Pickle.
American Pickle was one. Run was a show with the young Gleason guy.
Domhnall
Gleason.
Was that Moonshot one of them?
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of stuff I haven't watched.
Yeah. Yeah. American Pickle was really good. I liked it. That was a fun little
I've
Seth
heard good
Rogen
things
thing.
about that
Yeah, I've heard
movie.
good things too.
So
Now I can't watch it. No.
kind of the double-edged sword of streaming is that, like, if you don't have a physical release and they just decide to pull it, probably for monetary reasons. Again, currently they're looking to like instantly save $3 to $5 billion, and so if they don't have to write those checks, they don't have to write those checks. And if they're not, those are not shows that are keeping people watching regularly. So I understand that, like, oh, there probably aren't people that really miss this, but all of a sudden it's like, well, I was paying for, as a subscriber, I'm paying for what I assume these HBO originals to like stick around, and now they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got content vaulting in real life, Luke.
HBO
Love
should
it.
HBO should do what Game Pass does, in that if something is on their streamer, if they're going to be like pulling and pushing all the time, if something's on their streamer and you're a subscriber, they should cut a deal to where you get a percentage off of it if you purchase it.
Yeah, that would be
like Game Pass does with games. Like games are like 10% off if they're on Game Pass.
See, but then those shows would have to be purchasable elsewhere.
Right.
And I'm not sure they are right now. I'm actually going to look that up real quick.
In the chat, Lepke or Game Lord Master says they should build the DC universe on the back of Peacemaker. I'm okay. I think that is a great idea.
They're probably gonna have to.
Oh, Run you can at least buy on Apple TV Plus. Well, you can buy the show.
Run,
So
baby,
it's not
run.
gone. That's good. I'm sure The Witches is the same way, because that's a... But yeah, and definitely an interesting week in kind of the content, or the streaming wars.
Yeah. HBO Max went from being one of the best to probably
That's another
completely average.
That's another interesting thing, because there was a I think Variety maybe did a poll about like what is the best streaming experience, and HBO Max
was the highest.
Easily was the highest.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're doing these things, and I understand from a business perspective why you do some of these things, but yeah.
Our customers are happy. Well, let's upset them.
Yeah. The other little bit of
I've
news
not had HBO Max for a while, so
of that.
I was gonna re-up, but maybe not now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Discovery Plus and HBO Max will be becoming one service next summer. Currently untitled. Probably HBO Discovery Plus or something.
HBO plus Discovery Plus equals HBO Discovery squared.
It's gonna be HBO Discovery Series Plus.
Minus, because they remove shows every
Minus
once in
Max.
a while.
Minus Max. There
HBO
you go.
Discovery minus Max.
Oh my. Well,
Divided by
Hold
Netflix.
on.
did we
Brendan sent me something the other day that I thought was really funny that was kind of talking about that.
Yeah.
If I find it, I'll read it.
Okay. I don't know if I have any other news around that to mention.
Trying to think if there's anything else.
Turbulent times, and it'll be interesting to see how and if this scares creatives off from signing deals with WB in the future. Toxic management can do that, and if there's a chance that your thing gets cut,
well, they can
before
sign
it
to a
gets
WB and it'll just go to Netflix like the Sandman.
Fair enough.
Here you go. This is it.
No,
Sorry.
good. I was buying time, so glad you found it.
I think HBO Max, Peacock, and Discovery Plus should merge so they can make a new service called Max Cock Plus.
Yes, I'm in.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my, love it. Okay,
Now let's talk about this original streaming movie.
and this is a perfect segue into
This one's not on Max Cock Plus though.
a movie that released straight to Hulu, funded by 21st Century Pictures
21st Century
It feels
Studios.
It feels so weird to not see
I can't
Fox
say
in
Fox
front
anymore.
of movies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like kind of a lower budget
Mm-hmm.
streaming tier movie, like what maybe the Batgirl was kind of originally envisioned to be. Prey. Now,
Yeet.
Prey. This is a Predator prequel. That's a lot of P's. The Predator prequel called Prey. And we all watched it.
Prey.
What are your guys' initial thoughts?
I loved it. I had a blast watching it.
My impression, or AKA tweet review as we call
Yes.
them, a great back to basics Predator movie.
Yeah. I loved it as well. I think that, just kind of like what Tyler was saying, it strips away all of the extra stuff and really just focuses on this little story of survival and the kind of the idea of the hunters becoming the hunted, but in a very simple story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
It was also nice to peel off all the macho-ness
That
of
exactly what I was gonna say next.
of Predator.
Yep.
Although, I love the macho-ness of the first Predator.
Oh no, I love it too.
Because
it's nice that they
it's
could
great
flip it.
because I feel like it's one of the first ones where it like tears that down. Because you got all these burly, huge men. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger out there, and they're just getting shredded.
Yeah.
Absolutely shredded, and it's great. What I said on my Letterboxd.
Ooh.
Follow me, Luke
I
Ski.
need to update
Luke
mine.
Z _ WTFB. Letterboxd.com.
I like Luke Ski.
Luke Ski. What I
Luke
wrote
Ski.
was, I love the original Predator and the follow-up Predators. Prey is back to form, delivering an excellent, exciting, and gory treat. Also loved the Predators' design and arsenal.
Yeah. You mentioned the arsenal there. I liked how it didn't feel like it was bringing all this super high tech.
It's 300 years in our past, but it's 300 of the Predators' past too.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have the exact same thing. Plus, something that the Predator movies do is they kind of match up. Our knees touched. That was nice, wasn't
Just
it?
a little bit.
The Predator's arsenal and weapons always kind of matches up with whatever time he's in on Earth.
Yeah, whatever they're going up against.
Yeah. Except for he always has his cloaking device and yeah, they always got the
Nice.
the Wolverine claws. Those things are so cool.
I had I had written historic Predator gadgets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all in
Like
agreement.
he had
there,
a
for
shield
sure.
and a crossbow,
Mm-hmm.
and he had his net, which has been around. But yeah, I loved his crossbow. it was sci-fi,
It was
but
sweet.
it like fit in with the theme or the era of the movie, so it was awesome. And I loved how it was used. Maybe one of my favorite
Yeah.
Predators. Maybe my favorite Predator. Because I mean, the first one is really cool, but it's pretty basic. It's a shoulder cannon, invisible, and claws.
Yeah.
And then they get a little more outrageous. Obviously, not counting Alien versus Predator. Those are neither Alien movies nor Predator movies.
They exist in their own little verse, and
Those are
you
Elseworlds
can
stories.
you can you know, like me, you can absolutely love them for being as stupid as they are, and they're just over there. And we don't need them to touch anything else.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Yeah, this made me want to go back and watch all the Predator movies.
I think I
again.
might do that as well.
Like, they're all on
Yeah.
Hulu, so
that
was
really
kind of cool. I went and added them all to my list. I was like, oh dang,
Yeah.
that's dope. I might go back through and have myself a little Predator marathon. I kind of mentioned it in my impression, but I just appreciated the smaller scale, like we kind of already talked about, as well as the cast.
Yeah, they're great.
I think, really good on their part for casting, people of Comanche Nation. Amber Midthunder as Naru was really, really good.
She was really good.
I thought Dakota Beavers as Tabi was also really good. I didn't feel like anybody in the movie stood out as bad, which is really refreshing. Because there's always, like, in these kinds of movies, there's always some actors where you're like, oh man, did we need that? Like, we didn't need him in this scene, or But no, I thought it was really good. And again, I say this now. I feel like I say this a lot, and I'm going to, because it's just going to become my bit. But I was happy it was filmed outside.
Yeah, this movie was gorgeous.
It really is.
With natural light, like natural lighting, filmed outside. Like, just thank you, Dan Trachtenberg.
Great creative cinematography as well. Really focusing on the kind of things that are happening in a scene, and they'll use the camera to really make that feel more, whatever it is, more frightening, more mysterious, more exciting. I think they do a really good job of pairing up camera shots and cinematography with whatever is happening in the scene. So, I also, going back to the cast, I think you're absolutely right when you say that it didn't feel like there were any real weak actors. Part of that, I think, is how economical they were with kind of that secondary cast, the supporting
lines.
cast, the speaking lines. There's a lot of extra, supporting characters, but they don't have a ton of lines, and they're not usually around very long.
They do the Blumhouse method,
which I think is really, really smart, because it lets your two leads, three, I guess, if you count the Predator, shine in their roles, and everyone else just kind of fills a space to propel the story forward. But it doesn't feel lazy either. Sometimes we see that, and it's done in a lazy way. No, I think that all of these characters have very obvious viewpoints, and especially with how Naru is treated by some of her Native American, some of the boys. There's a boys club mentality there, that was kind of her. It was her story of overcoming that. So I thought it was great. I loved it.
Yep. I liked the dog.
One of the
dog.
Yes,
oh,
the dog is, and the dog's getting a lot of praise too.
Shout out to the trainers that trained those dogs, because they did really good.
Yep, really good job on the dogs.
Agreed.
Anytime you work with real animals, you never know.
Oh gosh.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, my last note that I put is I just appreciated that they didn't feel the need to try and connect everything very heavily to previous films.
Yep.
They have the really just the one, two, if you count the Predator, I guess, connecting tissues, which is just really nice. Like, I really, really appreciated that. Not everything needs to feel like it's this seamless connection. Like, and granted, it's a prequel, so they had a little more freedom. But we've seen prequels where they just jam pack a bunch of crap in there to be like, oh hey, you see that? You see that
Yep.
thing? Like it was nice that they didn't do that.
Mhm.
Really, I can only think of one thing that they did it with, and I was okay with that.
Yeah.
I also want to commend them on restraint when it comes to showing the predator and showing what the predator is doing. The first act of this movie has very little to do with the predator, and I think that actually makes the pacing feel really good because there's this natural build of
They like tease it just enough. It's like in the first act, there's something there,
right,
and then in the second act, you see it a little bit, but it might just be the camouflage is messing up. And then third act, it's like death and destruction.
Camouflage gone. It looks great. Fight. Like you said, I think you said it. Like its design, its little helmet thing. It's dope. It's all dope.
You know what I wish they'd have done with this movie? I wish they'd have done what they did with Split. Like they didn't market it like it was a follow up to Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Like they did. Like I wish they'd not marketed this as a Predator movie.
That would have been
like you're sitting down
awesome
to watch this, and then all of a sudden there's a Predator, and you're like, wait, what?
That would have been
been
amazing.
So sick.
I think I had seen an interview somewhere where the director Dan Trachtenberg had said something to the effect of like we wanted to not market it as a Predator movie,
but then will people watch it?
Yeah. It was like it's already going to streaming.
Yeah.
You know, would word of mouth be enough to get people on? Because these things live and die with how their first week goes.
Yeah.
Movies have a little more leg just because, you're not necessarily. But it's gotten really positive reviews, and it sounds like he's open to do a sequel.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
One of my positives is this might have the best sequel bait ever. Which is during the credits.
Yes.
I thought...
Totally agree.
Like, we're in the era of post-credit scene.
Yeah.
And this is just... Boop, and you go, what?
Dude, that was so good.
And the movie's over, and I was like, excuse me? Like...
Yeah, I rewatched the credits after the movie.
It's a blink and you'll miss it. If you're one of the people that doesn't watch credits...
You're not gonna see it. Yeah, because I watched him and I was like, wait, did I see that right?
It's like it's not even like anything that crazy. It's just boop.
Yeah, I went back and rewatched it, and Dana's like, "What are you doing?" I'm rewatching the credits.
I gotta see
why?
This.
Because I think I just saw something and I need to confirm it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm really. I wish some of the people in the cast could come back because I really did like everybody, but I mean there is some deaths, so
yeah.
But I hope Amber Midthunder comes back, and I'm excited for what else they might get.
I was gonna say it'll be
Hopefully this opens a lot of doors for them.
Well, I think it's just a good reminder that like I know we say this a lot, but like. Representation matters, and being able to see yourself and your culture on the big screen, even if it's on your TV screen, on the screen in these kind of stories, I think is really, really cool. But be that, like, I don't need to be watching, like, a white man doing something for me to enjoy it. Like, you don't have to... You
don't gotta cast Ryan Reynolds in every action comedy movie.
So, like, don't be afraid to take swings with stories and even IP. Like Predator's a pretty big IP. It's maybe not as important as it was 15 years ago, but having the flexibility to say, hey, we want to make this a very tight and secluded story. It's its own little thing. We don't have to spend a bunch of money on it. Spend what we need, but keep it economical and still people like me who are not of, Native American descent can really appreciate it and really reflect and relate to going through struggles in a way, even if it's not fighting a 8-foot monster from another world.
Yes. I agree, yeah.
Good job. More things like Prey, please. What's your guys' rating?
I give it a fanboy worthy.
I think I'll give it a fanboy worthy too. I could move it up to Booyah just because it's really well done.
You
It's
have
a
too
lot of
many
fun.
booyahs this year.
So many booyahs this year, yeah.
Um,
I
but yeah,
also
I'll
will
give it
give it a fanboy worthy.
a
Yeah.
high one.
I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
it's right up there. And you guys got to remember, I also gave the Batman a fanboy worthy, so it's like right there below
Heresy!
the Batman. It's a really high fanboy worthy.
I wanted to give it a booyah, but like, I don't know. Fanboy worthy feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, notice I don't think any of us had any cons.
Just nitpicks that don't matter, that don't even ruin the movie.
Right.
Things I could just notice.
Mm.
Like, oh, that bear didn't look perfectly real. Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that for a streaming movie with a budget of what? Probably $50 million.
Yeah. I guess here's a I'm not even going to call it a con. I'll use it as a conversation bit here though. It has some pretty intense gore in it. But that's really the only thing that I think pushes it into like a R/TVMA rating. I think that's pretty expected for a Predator movie, but at the same time, I was like, oh, like you could have put this out as like a PG-13 movie, and I think I would have enjoyed it still.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have come back on the gore, and it wouldn't have necessarily detracted from the story. But I know that there's some expectation with Predator movies that there's a certain level that you kind of need to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, even just like even this like just seeing a skinned animal, or person can just be like, oh wow.
Yeah, the wolf was rough for me. Oh no, it reminded me too much of a dog, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I didn't really want to see that.
Uh-huh.
I liked that the Predator. Sorry, I'm going back. I liked that the Predator wasn't like flawless in every fight too. That was cool.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about the budget, and I think a lot of the decision for why they did it that way too was, this little blurb from Forbes. They put an article out today about it. The original Predator earned 98 million worldwide in 1987 on a $15 million budget. Its 59 million domestic gross remains top for any solo Predator movie.
Oh wow.
Predator 2 earned 55 million worldwide in 1990 on a $35 million budget, while Predators earned 52 million domestic but 127 million worldwide on a $40 million budget.
Super underrated Predator movie, by the way. That movie is awesome.
So, and then they tried to do the Predator,
and it's garbage.
It earned lousy reviews and 51 million domestic, 160 worldwide, which was the record for a Predator movie, but nowhere near enough on an $88 million budget.
Hey, at least that movie's budget was only $88 million.
I was gonna say that is still pretty good for these days.
Honestly, they held back a little bit, which
that
is
was what
nice
20. Sorry, Tyler, did you say that it was like 2017, 2018?
I closed the article. I think it was
19.
2019.
Yeah. No, I'm honestly kind of surprised. I thought that last one would have been over 100. So.
Yeah, but no, it's kind of a, that article is pretty indicative of like why Prey was decided to be put on a streamer. They don't do big numbers at the box office, but they're really popular online, which I think is kind of surprising that it wouldn't do well. But not everything is driven by online social media takes.
Well, and it's not a traditional, like I don't know if it draws the same crowd as like a traditional horror film, and it's probably not quite the same as it's obviously not a 4-quadrant superhero action movie, like an big action movie that you can bring a 13-year-old to if you're aiming for that R rating. So yeah, I think it may have found its niche here, and I love it. Digging it. Oh, okay, guys. Go see go watch. I say, yeah, go see the Prey.
The Prey.
Go see Prey.
Go Prey, as well as go watch
Yes,
Prey.
Go watch Prey.
And actually, just watch Predators, and then watch
good
Prey.
Good excuse to go rewatch some of those if you haven't in a while or
Predator
haven't ever.
Predator 2 is kind of hilarious because it's so weird.
Yes. Yes.
But it's not really that
I can't
good.
wait to rewatch that.
Predators, I think, is super underrated. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like Prey, where it's a totally different setup. Yeah. It's like on an alien planet in the future. And it's really unique. I think people will like that one a lot. And then watch Prey, which is fantastic.
And they'll like Prey. All right. I don't have any Fanbox questions for us this week. But if you do have a Fanbox question...
What is your name?
Brett.
What is your quest?
To seek the Holy Grail.
What is your favorite color?
Yellow.
Cool. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
You can ask us a Fanbox question over on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram, kind of the most, at What the Fanboy. Or you can head over to our website.
Did you say your favorite color is yellow?
It's not.
Oh, I was going to say, that's just... I mean, it's fine if it was, but it's just not a common answer.
It's just throwing out a color. Just to throw you off. Did it work?
Yeah, it did. I'm over here like... having my brain melted like, it can't be yellow.
You can find all of our old episodes over at whatthefanboy.com. You can find all of the links there, as well as Ask Us Fanbox questions. And, of course, we appreciate you tuning in to Twitch this week for the live stream. Mondays at 8 o'clock is when we record. All the episodes are available on YouTube or your favorite podcast streaming service. So
that's right, baby.
Yeah. Until next week, we'll see y'all.
Bye. Hey, guys.